Searching podcasts for Dave, and one more time.
Hello and Happy New Year. The following is a public service announcement from the Dave and Juan More Time podcast. It is now 2026, so be careful that you're not still writing 2025 on your checks. And if you are still writing checks, don't forget to take your hypertension, cholesterol, diabetes, and whatever other medicine someone who still writes checks is probably on. You're welcome, America. This is Dave and Juan.
And 3.
Number 2.
1.
Woohoo!
Incoming. Oh my God. America, it is the first podcast of 2026. We are back and you are.
You're welcome.
Welcome. Absolutely welcome. Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm Dave.
I'm Juan.
And this is Dave and Juan.
More time.
Thank you. Time stamping this. We're doing this one on a Saturday afternoon. I woke this morning still groggy. I was
woke last night to the sound of thunder.
Well, I forgot.
Quite a ways off,
Oh,
but I
right.
sat and wondered.
I woke up this morning and, grabbed my phone. Hadn't even said my morning prayers, Juan. I just grabbed my phone. I got a text from a couple friends that we have this. I got a bunch of different text chains that go, but these guys, we talk politics and all kinds of things. And his first text this morning was, "Are we attacking Venezuela?" And then the other guy answered, "It looks like it." And I'm sitting there thinking, like a lot of Americans, where's Venezuela again?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Right? I mean, look, I don't claim.
I'm assuming it's like South America.
It is. It is the top of South America. In fact, I pulled up a map to the side of me right now just to remind. Again, it's one of those things. We talk about things, and I could have told you that the quote unquote president, even though they say he's not legitimate, I knew Maduro. I knew the name.
Yeah, knew the name.
I knew the guy was a problem. I knew that we've been blowing up a lot of boats lately.
Fishing boats.
That's become. I don't know. They're
No,
fishing.
ain't no fishing boats.
I was about to say, man, stop it. They want to tell you the lies. They got the footage of these
Let me
drug
tell you
running.
something. If there were, boats that look like shrimp boats getting blown off down at the Fushon or getting blown up,
Yeah.
all the shrimpers would stop going out just in case.
Just in case. They'd be like, bruh, this is even worse than the Teds. I mean, they out there, they blowing up. So that's why a lot of this was in my mind. I'd heard that we had moved some military assets down there. I don't know if we put an aircraft carrier down there or what did we do, but
Yeah, well, I guess because that's what he was on, huh? Or what they moved him to.
So anyhow, that's what we awoke to. So Venezuela is the country at the very top. It's a large country at the very top of South America. It has been a problem for a while. And again, hey guys, understand something too. Let's go back to the very first episode of Dave and Juan, and I would say probably 90% of all the episodes since then, where we remind you everybody's lying. Doesn't mean they're lying totally. Doesn't mean that every word coming out of people's mouths are lies, but everybody's got their angle, and there's a lot of lies going on. Venezuela has been a problem for a long time. It was a country, a very wealthy country.
It was a very prosperous country.
And if you look at it on a map,
right,
it's in an ideal situation. It's right up on the well, actually the Atlantic Ocean as much as the Caribbean Sea and the ocean, but straight shot into the Gulf of America, which I'm still getting used to saying. I didn't have to inform my mom about that. Driving around with my mom last week when we were saying something, I said, no, it's called the Gulf of America. She says, really? Like they really changed it? I said, yep. 100%. If you pull up Google, it says Gulf of America. But anyway, so it was overthrown or whatever, but it was a guy named Hugo Chavez who was what's the word I like to use? A despot. He was
Man,
nah.
I don't even know what that word is.
I didn't even read that word today, but that came to mind. A despot, a bad guy, a diablo. But brought. They always say it's socialism. It's not socialism. It's communism. Always remember that. Socialism is it's just a different version of saying communism. And Venezuela went from a extremely prosperous country
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of freedoms, just right to
One with
as
none.
as our current president would like to say, an s-hole. But along the way, they also did things like they took some U.S. company assets.
Right.
They with the oil companies, and they took billions and billions of dollars worth of basically American-owned stuff. Um, America, for some reason, and I don't know, we've always been more inclined to blow stuff up on the other side of the world. You know what I'm saying? We've always been. That's what made this interesting. Like you don't blink. Like we will blow up all kinds of
Oh
stuff.
yeah. We'll blow up stuff for other people
Yes.
basically
Yeah,
quicker than we blow up stuff for ourselves.
we're like the big friend. Like I got the tough big friend. Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll level cities on the other side of the globe. We tend not to do as much here in our backyard. But that's what they did.
But
They
how
did
much devastation? I mean, what did we do?
very little.
Right.
In fact, and this was a look, kind of jumping ahead. So anyway, last night our U.S. military went in there, and I've seen some of the footage. And to credit to these guys, they're showing a lot of footage of what, right? That had to be an eerie thing with these helicopters just coming in, and so they went into Caracas, Venezuela, and they grabbed Maduro and his wife.
Yeah, that's
Well, she's also been, but look, it's a tag team, and they got them out, and they're on a ship, and they're on their way now.
I like that they had them blindfolded.
Well, can't be giving up our secrets. If he
Yeah.
wants the secrets, all he has to do is talk to the Chinese. Chinese know all our stuff anyway. But so they went in there, they blew up a bunch of stuff, including the mausoleum of Hugo Chavez.
Nice.
I will. I as many things that Trump does that I go, man, I wish you wouldn't have done that. I wish you wouldn't have done that. One's one that you go, you know what?
Yeah, off yours, bro.
Let's make a point. Well, it actually does make a point. It does the point, and here's where I think Trump maybe a little more than others, because he says the quiet. He says everything out loud.
Yeah.
You ever heard that phrase? Oh, he just said the quiet part out loud. No, Trump says everything out loud. But part of the message that sends is that, hey, when you mess with us, bruh, you can be dead for 20 years.
We're still coming at you.
We're going to blow up your cemetery, right? We're going to wipe you. So anyway, they did that. They apparently almost no collateral damage. It's what, if you can believe it, right?
Well, but it's also not like this was without warning to, Maduro. I mean,
They told him get out. They gave him the
Right.
opportunity. These other countries, China was there. China had a delegation. Well, they're always there, by the way. So China and Russia have been, and that's part of what's been the problem. These countries who are no friends of ours have been using Venezuela as like another kind of headquarters, and getting around, things. And so now, part of the quiet part out loud that's amazing. In fact, I was on a walk today. I got tired of waiting for the press conference, and it's been a beautiful day out here. So I'm like, I'm gonna go get my walk, and I'm got the earbuds on. I'm listening to the press conference, and it was something I'd seen before. And man, Trump just comes out and basically starts talking oil. He just flat out starts talking oil, and that's the other thing with Venezuela. They hold, if you look at the entire planet, Venezuela has the largest reserves of thick crude. All right. You got, and I didn't know, I got to be honest, I did not know this until some dude on TV today had all the graphs out there and was explaining the various kinds of crude oil.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
You got what they call sweet crude. That's sort of in between. Anyway, it's in between. You got light, like the stuff we frack. around these, you pump water into the ground and stuff. Some of that stuff comes up dang near clear. So that is like very light. Okay. Then you got the stuff that's really gooey, really, right? That's the thick, heavy oil. Well, most all of our refineries around Louisiana and Texas are all geared to process that kind of oil.
Okay.
So when that kind of oil in Venezuela has been trickling down, because they don't keep up the stuff. Anyway, the productivity coming out of Venezuela has been terrible. So in a way, there's some huge economic issues.
Right. Well, you open up, you get refineries here back to full capacity.
They're already so I don't want to be cold about this, but if you on the bayou right now, you ought to be you cheering that like pump that stuff. Let's go, process things. But
I saw some people in Venezuela pretty excited.
Well, sure.
You got other people in the world saying, "Oh, blah blah, blah 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 blah," or whatever.
Oh, and now they're Crimea River. Now, here's my favorite. My favorite. If you ever want to know how absolutely useless Congress is, I love the people in Congress now that are whining and have the reporters that are trying to carry their water for them. Well, Congress should have been notified. And Trump all but laughed, like, yeah. Right. Actually, Rubio stepped up and answered that question. And then Trump couldn't help but jump in and say, Congress has a tendency to leak. They like to leak, which is true. By the way, we're jumping around here. I'm jumping around here a little bit, but Marco Rubio is, if you were looking at the betting odds, he's gaining on J.D. Vance.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Rubio's looking good. I'll give him that. I was not a tremendous fan of his. I didn't dislike him. In fact, when he first came into Congress, I remember thinking, man, I love this guy. And then he got too involved with John McCain, and
it'll be interesting because I think
tainted him.
It's one of those times where you could literally think, because it's been a long time since you get like the top two guys that on the ticket when you're running an open primary, and so you could conceivably have JD and Rubio on the ticket together.
You could, but I don't see. I think what you're finding out right now is that the position of vice president, while obviously very, very important, you're a heartbeat away, is a nothing job. See,
right,
he wasn't. I thought about that.
Really, I think they do. It's largely selected now based on what kind of votes you can bring in.
Pretty much, because notice who was not in the room today was Vance.
Yeah.
Now I got a feeling if they had this press conference in D.C.,
I think it said something security reasons and just couldn't get him down there quick enough, or
maybe so. But they did. That's the other thing too. I don't even know what to think about this, but the fact that these major world events, now granted, the year is only a couple days old, right? But one of the most important press conferences in quite some time, right, is happening in Mar-a-Lago. Like he's there in front of whatever the black screen is and the flags, and he's got these he's got Rubio with him, he's got Hegseth, flat out about 150 yards away, they got people walking around in their bathing suits, drinking mimosas, tourists in their croissants back in their room, just
fresh off of shooting fireworks.
There you go. But Rubio,
I'll
say that whenever I kind of missed Hegseth didn't talk too much. Rubio took quite a few questions and just again came across as wow, like to the point of, and I'm texting with some other friends, just saying I wish Trump would STFU, and if you know what that means, I'm not going to explain it to you, but he is his own worst enemy.
Well, he's just got to go off on so many things. Rubio's great Rubio's a great speaker. The whole, obviously, has those roots in South Florida, but also, from Cuba, I would have said.
Yeah. He's Cuban.
So he's got I guess he's got a stake in all of those things.
Oh, he does. And he answered toward the very end a question on Cuba quite well, and that's where he's definitely tied to. And he pointed out that Cuba's a failed state. He's saying Cuba right now is run by incompetent. How he said that? Incompetent. He didn't call them old men, but I don't forget exactly what the wording he used. But talked about how he says Cuba has no economy. He's basically saying Cuba's a failed state as it is,
Right.
and yet Cuba's was dang near, or at least really involved in Venezuela. They've been using like some leaders from Cuba have been. It's
Yeah,
a mess.
it's a lot of it's connected, and you know.
But now, apparently, we're gonna be running Venezuela for a little bit.
Well, for a bit, you know.
I love the fact he just said that. Yeah, no. And here's the deal. It totally makes sense. So yes, that actually absolutely makes sense. You don't go in and do this.
Well, that's the whole because if we don't, you're basically leaving it up for grabs.
Well, it happens, right? The power structure is going to be there, and all the bad guys and that's really what's happening. There's a reason that and you're going to see even more and more Venezuelan people come out into the streets and celebrating more as they see that it is safe to do so. That's what all these countries are, man. I mean, like in Iran, forget it. I mean, Russia, you name the country. Forget China. Remember Tiananmen Square, y'all? I shouldn't have said that. We probably just got blocked. Right. But anytime there's uprisings, it's a big deal because it is literally dangerous they disappear you in these countries. So you're going to be seeing more and more of that come out. And I mean, who knows? Maybe we can get Jeff Landry to go run Venezuela.
Well, let me tell you, Jeff's busy, man, because after going out partying a couple days ago in his Versace shiny jacket.
Did we know that was a Versace jacket?
That was, yes.
You do know that was no. Come on. Okay,
Yeah.
those of you that don't know what we're talking about. Now, we didn't talk about this last week because it happened
It
around.
happened after.
But he was in Miami.
Yeah.
Now, why?
I don't know what he was there for.
Or who he was with. And again, I'm not even criticizing. I'm just saying it was, we live in a world now that AI does so much stuff. You don't want to trust some stuff you see. But I made the point of sending this thing to a buddy of mine and saying, this is the second time in about 3 weeks that Jeff Landry's done something that I'm like, is this AI? He's crawling out of a car with a shiny Tim Mulkey
Look,
looking
I
outfit
wore some
on.
outlandish stuff back in the 80s. I would have never wore that jacket. It's like, what's the little thing that you used to get or that they'd advertise late night on TV where like a bedazzler. So
Sorta.
like the back of the jacket had some bedazzling.
But the buddy he was with him was wearing something similar, I think. Now, the wives
Yeah,
were
that
there.
was like an even weirder jacket.
It'd be like if you and I decide, hey, Juan, let's put on our shiny shirts. Let's grab our wives and go out with our shiny shirts on. And I wanted to know if the story was it some kind of cultural thing? Was at first I thought, is he had some kind of Indian affair or, you know what I'm saying?
Well, Versace was from Miami, so.
Well, right.
Or he-
Right. But, it doesn't mean
Yeah,
it's not a
I
dumb
don't
looking.
know. I never got that. But I think now he's in New York with the speaking to Roger Goodell about getting a Super Bowl and the NBA, or then he's also going to meet with the NBA commissioner about getting the All-Star game in New Orleans.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, this reporting is
No, that's legit. That's legit. He's there with Gail Benson, who owns the Saints
Sure.
and the Pelicans.
Is Todd there? Is Todd Graves there?
No, Todd's not there.
That's the guy you need there. I mean, all due respect to Gail. Gail, come on, Gail. How'd you get your money, Gail? Your husband died,
Yeah.
right?
So
And you haven't exactly surrounded yourself in glory. Now, apparently, a wonderful woman and an incredible
right, she's
philanthropist.
Exactly. Gives a lot of money
She's an
away.
incredible philanthropist. So my point is not that. It's like, best I can tell, she is New Orleans' #1 citizen.
Yeah.
But let's not pretend that the Saints and the Pelicans have not been
they're
incredibly
not
mismanaged.
They're not at the top of the heap.
Right. Okay.
But then what else? So I think he's committed to restoring the annual LSU Tulane football game.
Jeff is.
Yes.
Man.
Man, I know you were here last week and you had to notice that all the problems in Louisiana have been solved.
They help. You know what? That's a good place to be. it's a good place to look around and say, my job here is about done.
Yeah.
Let me go find some new stuff to do. Well, my thing is, hey, he ought to put his hand. But you notice Trump even mentioned him, but not by name. And he was rambling. That's the other thing Trump was doing today. Now I say this as I ramble, but hey, that's what we do. We're here.
Yeah. Well,
okay, but I wasn't telling the world about this country we just invaded. Okay, I mean, but he starts going down these bunny trails, and he can't help but have to brag on stuff. Like, here's the deal, man. The military is amazing, okay? You can stop talking about it like it's a building you're trying to sell, dude. I mean, he can't stop talking about no other military in the world could do. Okay. All right, we got it. We don't care about how awesome all the stuff is. Just tell us why. Well,
Yeah.
and every now and then it would come up. But then he was talking about other stuff he's done, including, we got into the great state of Louisiana. And a governor there asked me, but he never said Jeff Landry by name. He might have forgotten.
Well,
his name.
Jeff posted something a little while ago and tagged him in it. Yeah, complimenting him on the Venezuelan.
Tagging the president in your tweet.
Yeah.
That's sweet. But my thing is, hey, put your hand up, Jeff. Go run Venezuela. It's closer, right?
Right. You got some oil. Heck.
I got it. I got the map in front of me. It's a closer flight.
Right. You probably know a lot more about the business there or the business potential there than what you know in Greenland.
Do a good job in Venezuela, and you know what? Colombia's right there. We'll give you a shot at that. Panama's just right next to it. Heck, Jeff, we can let you run from Guatemala to Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama. Tie that in. That's got to be at least as important to us as Greenland.
Right. We get the canal back under our control.
Man, we can turn the Caribbean Sea into, the American Sea. Let's rename all this crap. You know what I'm saying? Why not? We got a very short window, America. Very short window. Unless Trump comes out and says, nope, not going anywhere.
Yeah.
We've looked at the
we'll let y'all figure it out for the next 4 years.
Well, my thing is, so they grabbed Maduro and his wife. They put the blinders on them, the night sleeping things, right? Put them on the boat. They're bringing them. Here's the deal. They're apparently bringing them to New York. So we're taking them out of one communist place, bringing them straight up to another communist place. I mean, heck,
why New York?
Well, I guess that's where he was indicted. So the Southern District of New York. And by the way, those all the Trump haters out there, don't get me wrong, he gives you a lot of ammunition. No, they dotted all the I's and crossed the T's on this because Maduro and his wife have been indicted on drug charges, on
so they were basically
charges.
Just executing an arrest warrant.
That's exactly what they were doing. So they've already been. I want to say there was a $50 million reward or whatever. So I'm not sure if Trump's going to get that or not. But hey, go to the presidential library. So there was an existing warrant for them. So that's why they bring them up to where the warrant was. But of course, you're bringing them to communist New York.
Right. He could be on the streets tomorrow.
Forget the streets. He's going to be in the Madami cabinet within a year. He's going to be in charge of.
He'll be in charge of pharmaceuticals.
There you go, and running bodegas and probably childcare, whatever. I mean, that's. I love that. We're going to run Venezuela. We can't run Minnesota. Okay. We'll talk about
that's another thing that is.
Hang on. Look, here's the deal, dude. I had a little short page of notes, and I had all kinds of stuff on this side, and a lot of it. A couple of mentions about Somalia, and what's going on with in Minnesota, and then the Trump thing happened today, and I'm just like, oh yeah, that's
that trumps everything.
That's the obvious lead. Now, we're worried now that China and Russia are both going to take this move as excuses to be able to, Russia's going to. Guess what? They're already blowing up Ukraine, y'all.
Right, because they needed an excuse.
Exactly, and China and Taiwan, that's just going to happen. It all comes down to whether or not anybody's going to stop it. When I say anybody, it has to be us, because that's the other thing we've seen. The rest of the world's military outside of China is a joke. It's a joke. Just not big enough to do anything. They can say the Israelis, but you know what? The Israelis, it seems like what the Israelis do is they just start a bunch of fights that we have to finish.
Right.
And here's the deal. I'm not even arguing on whether or not the fights are warranted. I mean, that's because
All
you
right,
can.
and you got to figure if Russia couldn't take out Ukraine
There
in
you
this
go.
amount of time,
There you go. So no, I don't think our military was at. I mean, I want to say if I will give Trump and these guys credit for this. I think the military was pretty run down, but it's back. I mean, sheesh, it's they're feeling themselves right now. I just wish, and I heard, and I don't think it's going to happen because at this point, but they talked about, man, let's go back and get all that stuff we left in Afghanistan. You know,
why not?
the 80 something
Now,
billion
yeah,
dollars of
where is,
new.
I guess would we have to fight to get it back, or is it
I
just
don't
still parked out there?
I don't know. And I see stuff like this today, and it makes me wonder, like, what's the lesson the rest of the world takes? To see a lot of the other dictators and the bad guys around the world see what happens today, and they get scared. And the other part of me is like, well, they might be thinking, well, I'm kind of safe now. It's like the zebras when the lions take down a zebra, all the other zebras relax. It's like,
Yeah,
you got your hands full eating that zebra. It sucks that
right. Well,
sucks that
like
my
you
buddy
said,
Fred's getting eaten, but hey, it ain't
right.
me.
It ain't me. That's why I always say, it's people freak out when they fly after a plane crash, and I said, hell, they're paying better attention now.
Well, and the odds are. It's rare that one goes down. So if one does go
Yeah,
down,
you're right. Odds are in your favor.
odds are. But so that's what's so what other shark the informed conference bomb the most. Yeah, I pretty much covered that one. That was but that was the one thing today during the press conference. I kept thinking, Hegseth and Rubio's got to be standing there thinking, oh man, stop, just stop, shh. Like, because it's just, man, my big thing is this, and look, you can't. It's hard to criticize a guy that's been through everything he's been through. And
Right.
look, man, and when you've convinced yourself, I'll win, all I do is win, and I've been winning, doing it this way forever. But it's just like, man, get up there and you can within 1 to 2 minutes give the country and the world
Right.
an
That's all you need.
outline of this is what go back 20 something years to Venezuela. Tell the quick story that this was not something that happened last week. you know, and then you can even point out, hey, I'm here fixing a mess that somebody else started.
Right. I didn't start this. And yeah, and you got when he gets, if the show The Apprentice had been broadcast live, we'd still be on season one because Trump would have never shut up. And
You're right.
Granted, I don't trust anybody to edit him, but like you said, it could be all right. Let's just move it along. Give yourself a clock and
It is funny though. I mean, I guess if I could do impersonations and I was watching the press conference today thinking no comedian, if a comedian was doing this, you'd be laughing thinking, oh, that's a pretty good, like saying the same thing. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
you said that 10 seconds ago. You just said that 10 seconds ago. But okay, we're going to do that again. And you can just see like, oh man, there's another rabbit trail he's about to go down.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always got to remember to get in the shots. But again, you know what? My own government didn't try to get me killed.
Right.
His did.
Yeah.
I always go back to that, man. I always go back to that his Secret Service, which wasn't his, it's technically his, but like set it up and tried to get the dude killed. The dude had a bullet clip his ear. I mean, like literally, if I'm that guy, I'm doing what I want. I'm doing what I want.
If it wouldn't be for the most beautiful PowerPoint chart in the world, he could
God
be dead.
himself turned his head. Took it in there.
Big beautiful chart.
There you go. But so there
But
we
then
are, America.
Talking about Minnesota again, all of the stuff before we even get to with all the Venezuelan or not Venezuelan with the Somalian type grants and all the fraud associated with that. Every time I see Tim Walz on TV, the dude just looks dumber and dumber.
And that's saying
every
a lot.
time.
That's saying a
His
lot.
facial expressions, just without opening his mouth, he's just a moron.
But it shows you how broken everything is. And you could see back and that's what annoyed me. It still annoys me about how the parties work. It's like whatever political side you're on, you always hope to look at the other side and say, okay, at least they're putting their best out, or at least
Right.
they're. This guy was a clown from the jump, and just terrible. And then the more you find out about his record, what? Like the dude was in, I guess the reserve. Okay, he was a he whatever position. He also claimed stuff he didn't have.
Right.
He claimed to get to
He
a rank
claimed he
that
had
he never
ranking that he didn't have, so
never
you're
did. But
total
when
stolen
but
valor
when
when he
given
found
the
out.
opportunity to go overseas and lead his troops, hit the people that he'd been training with, he
Right.
bailed. And I mean,
Right.
that, to
I'm
me,
done.
that's a. Oh no, that's like so. So the group of men that you have quote unquote been over, you've been their leader for all the lead up. When it comes time to actually go, where there may be some fighting to happen, he jumped. So forget. So the fact that he is sitting on top of this mess, and when I say this mess, y'all, it is staggering. If you haven't been paying attention or don't know about the corruption that's been uncovered in
It's just
Minnesota,
billions upon billions of
billions and
dollars.
billions and billions of dollars going to, and it's everywhere. Part of it was like the SNAP program and stuff, but these daycares, apparently one of the most profitable scams. And you don't want to say like, oh, it's Somali, but it is. This is thousands and thousands and thousands of Somali, not even really U.S. citizens. They're
No,
here, okay,
right. They're refugees.
but these fake daycares. So they get these buildings, and you'll find all kinds of elected officials that are part of it. Like
Hmm.
it's amazing, and supposedly daycare centers, and they're just billing because apparently that's what our government does. We just
Right.
pay.
Right. It's like a no-show job in the mafia. You just all right. You do it, and like the one that's getting all the attention, which is just one of many, because of it's getting a lot of attention because of the word learning misspelled on their
Yeah,
sign.
yeah, yeah.
Has gotten like $12 million in 5 years.
Oh, and that's not even the big ones. There's some
Right,
that are way
right.
more than
But
that.
that's what I'm saying. So why would a daycare center, tell me it costs $2 million a year to run a daycare center?
And there's this young man, and he's an independent journalist, and I forget his
Yeah, he's
name.
like 22 years old.
So this guy gets out there with his own camera, his own whatever, and he's going to these supposed daycares during operating hours
Hmm.
to just let's see, and couldn't find one example of any of these daycares that you're paying for. I don't care where you live in, folks. Don't think that it's like, oh, I don't live in Minnesota. It doesn't matter. It's federal funds.
Your money.
Your money is being paid millions, and it is accumulated to. They said it's some of the biggest ever. It's in well into the billions of dollars that are just
Yeah,
being
gone
paid
and unaccounted for.
fraudulently. They take the money, don't do anything with it, and then turn around and donate some to the Democratic. And that's I'm sorry, they can't. There's no records of any Republican
Yeah.
politicians in Minnesota being on the receiving end.
But then first you get the guy, the quote unquote manager at the Leering Center, whatever, who said, well, of
No,
course we
no,
want
now here's the deal.
to
You want to have the picture. One's calling it the Leering Center because you can't make this up.
Right.
There was some old building, some rented building that on the outside has some kind of daycare set up, one of these fake daycares, and the sign was supposed to be the blah 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 learning center, but they left
Yeah.
the first "in" out of the word, so their sign literally said the
The
Leering
Leering Center.
Center.
And I've had kids in daycare. I probably wouldn't go to one that had a misspelled word.
Well, if you can't speak English, you wouldn't know.
And they said, well, of course there was nobody there. We're open from 2 to 11. Yeah, that's a logical time for daycare to be open. And then, as luck would have it, someone broke in there this week and stole all their documents,
As
all
luck
their
would have it,
records
there was a mysterious.
of students, and it's all he stole, just the
So-
records of the
It's
students.
almost like NASA losing all the records to the space, to the first space mission, right? I mean,
Oh, we don't need to go with the.
yeah, I'm just saying. There's the difference. I believe there are fraudulent. I believe in the fraudulent Somali daycare centers. The other one, I'm not quite. But anyway, this young man discovered all this stuff, and then and he set off a lot of other people.
Well, and he's getting, there's some that are just beating the hell out of him, not physically.
You
but
gotta
it's
love
like,
that. You gotta love CNN and these other worthless operations.
CNN, we called them and, we asked, is there any fraud? They said, no. So there you go.
They're
Just
trying to
proven.
investigate the investigator. That's how it works with how corrupt. And there's a reason we talked about it last week. How Americans' trust in the media is at an all-time low, and it just keeps getting lower and lower and lower because they're useless for the most part. Except for Rick Portier and Jacques Doucet and our friends. They're just so this young guy goes out and does and probably did in a day or 2 days. He probably cost him $50 worth of gas.
Footage. I think he's got, it might be more than that because I think he's got 20 something hours of footage.
Okay, and he's got millions and millions and millions of views because this guy basically went out and did something called journalism and uncover like, wow, look at all this corruption. So now the news media is attacking him.
Right. These places already had violations against them. Well, but they were still getting money. They weren't quote unquote, shut down because they wasn't open.
Yeah. So, but here's other things that just point out how messed up this is. So Minnesota, and I don't know if they're going to change this or not, but and again, I don't care what side of the political spectrum you are on. I want anybody to defend this to me. The Minnesota system on day of voting. So you're not supposed to be like, it's supposed to be like, you're supposed to be registered. You're supposed to be in the United States of America. You're supposed to be a citizen, and not just a citizen, registered to vote. And that means that you have shown proof of citizenship and in good standing. You're not a felon. You're not whatever. So, okay. That takes a little time. That's supposed to happen. There's supposed to be a window that, if you didn't become a registered voter.
Well, because first of all, it takes time to get the records updated to the voting place.
Correct. Okay. So this day of registration stuff has always been a scam. It's always been same thing with motor voter, where they want to register you to vote when you get your driver's license. It's always been a scam. Okay. Always been a scam. But Minnesota was allowing, I have to write this down. One registered voter could vouch for 8 other residents without showing ID.
Yeah, they're good. Come on, bro. Come on.
Understand what I'm saying, y'all? You like one register, and that's assuming that quote unquote registered voter was an authentic registered voter. But one person could vouch for 8 other non-residents, no ID. It's the biggest.
Yeah, and how did that? Do they have to be with him at the?
I guess, and I'll promise you, those
drinks on you.
I promise you, those polling places didn't have glitches that shut them down, we got to keep things open. That's the other one too. Oh, we had a problem. We got to keep these things open until midnight, till 1. Okay, but so that's what's going on there. So maybe after we run Venezuela and we figure that out. Maybe we can
get Minnesota straight.
Maybe we can straighten out Minnesota. I mean, is there oil in Minnesota? Can we justify?
I don't know. Well,
any drug boats running out of Minnesota? I mean,
there's certainly a lot of shipping in Minnesota.
Well, and look, and I'm saying that. Look, I'm saying that it's not. I mean, let's not let everybody get off. You got where's this guy here? So California, right? So it's kind of funny how we just sort of forget about New York is such a mess. Minnesota is such a mess. We forget this happened in California. So the California legislature, which is a nightmare, but they actually passed something unanimously. They passed a bill to require reporting on cost and outcome data for the homeless programs, because California, whoopsie, misplaced $24 billion. So there's 24 billion with a B that, hey, yeah, man, I must have left it in my other pants. I don't know what, so the legislature unanimously comes out and says, yeah, we're going to pass.
Nothing gets passed unanimously.
Okay.
Anymore,
and then Gavin Newsom vetoed it.
On what grounds?
I don't know. Because he wants to be president, and he needs
can't uncover that dirt.
He needs all the he needs all the legal and all the
that's just on.
He needs that system.
The mayor of New Orleans, or former mayor of New Orleans, or soon to be former mayor of New Orleans, vetoing the budget.
When did she leave?
The new one. It's got to be this week.
Oh my gosh.
It might be Monday.
Oh my gosh. I mean, Latoya. I was gonna say, don't let the screen door hit you, but I hope it does.
Oh
You know,
Lord.
just catch you on the butt on the way out. But what you gonna do? What was the other thing? Mayor, Mamdani, right, the new mayor of the largest city in America, who's about to have Maduro staying in a prison
Or at his house.
or at his house. I just hope they don't put him in Epstein's cell because we know that the cameras go
The
out.
cameras are broken, and there's apparently information or devices by which you could harm yourself.
I would give Maduro or whatever lawyers he gets credit if they come out and say, "Hey, just please don't put us in Epstein cell, okay?" Because we've seen how you guys handle people that become a problem, but yeah, Mandani came out and said a couple things that are interesting, and it's just if you don't have a problem with this, then you are part of the problem, okay? One of the things he's telling these people, if your landlord, all right, I guess he's talking to the masses here. Says if your landlord does not responsibly steward your home, and we can debate whether or not it's actually your home, okay?
Yeah.
It's where you live. Technically, theoretically, you're supposed to be paying rent, although they got so many.
And let's be honest, I think, I've leased a few apartments in my life too. I'm pretty much the steward of my home or at least there's a shared responsibility or shared stewardship
Well,
there.
according to Mamdani, if you're, does not responsibly steward your home, city government will step in.
Yeah.
So let's look at this first of all. Now, you define responsibly steward. Okay, if you've got people breaking stuff or doing what we don't,
Right.
okay, how quickly is a landlord supposed to fix things, or who's accountable for your actions?
Exactly.
Living, okay, and who gets to judge that? Who gets to decide, right? And then if not happy, the city will step. So basically, the dude is already calling out. They're going to make a move for the city government to take over properties.
Well, I saw something where it's like you've got some big property holders that are, I guess, filing or I guess in the bankruptcy proceedings and proceedings to whatever kind of bankruptcy lets you reorganize things. And I read something where he's threatening that he'll take over those properties, give them to other people, or let the city run it, and or let somebody else come in, or demolish the properties and get other responsible builders to come in and charge low rent. Here's the whole deal, people. Ain't nobody in business to not make money. So I'm going to go build this thing that now I've got to be responsible for everything that everybody does, and I have no means of making money on it.
Also, the other thing with rent control, when they come in
Yeah.
and tell you can't raise, well, they did that during COVID too, among the other 1,000 different things they did to destroy America, destroy the world, destroy everything during COVID. When they said, "Oh, you can't foreclose, you can't evict, you can't do," and everything just just fell apart. Because guys, guess what? People are only as honest a lot of times as their options. And if the option is you can't throw me out of this place, I'm not paying. I'm not.
No,
fixing
my
anything.
father-in-law has rental property in Atlanta, and it was a good few years after COVID that people stopped paying, and then one of them started paying, and he said, "Okay, well, you still owe this," and they said, "Okay, screw you. You gonna complain about what I'm giving you? I'm not paying anything." And the hoops and the licensings and all of just the cost he had to incur to legally the people who had to be there to witness
Right.
them taking the furniture out to evict the people. It cost him tons of money to get somebody out of something he owned.
I don't even understand. This is jumping around, but and again, it's sort of tangentially, what's the word? Tangentially? Hang on.
I think it's tangentially or
Tangent.
I
You
don't
never
know.
now and then is a word you can think, but when you try to say it, you go, well, it's a tangent. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going off on a tangent.
So
So it's
tangentially involved, connected.
tangentially, whatever, America. So I was went down. I was in Louisiana for a few days between Christmas and New Year's, and on one of the days I went with brought my mom. It was a beautiful day. We drove down, went down the bayou, and that's kind of weird. God will make a liar out of you because I used to say that once I moved out of South Lafourche and all my family pretty much got out of South Lafourche, man, I was never going to cross the Intercoastal Bridge again. I just said I'm done. God bless everybody, but I got no. And I'm there a lot now. But I went, brought my mom down. We went to the cemeteries, did the check on the things, and I don't think I'm weird. I actually like cemeteries. Um, no, I do. I don't like funerals, but cemeteries, especially on a peaceful, quiet day, it's sort of grounding. And granted, I got so many friends and a lot of family
Mm-hmm.
members there. You kind of do the visits and with my mom, and then we went down our old street. Well, we have a couple old streets, and the house we sold to move my parents to
Thibodeau.
Thibodeau. So the house in Cutoff apparently has been foreclosed on.
Oh, wow.
So the guy got, hey man, I wish nothing but anything. I never met the guy because everything was closed. Him and his wife, whatever. I never, but the storm. Rita came in. No,
Yeah.
Ida. Sorry, Ida. Um, really did a lot of devastation, some damage to the house, but it's got a nice new metal roof on it. But
You should buy it and move back.
man, listen, if it wasn't for, I think I scared my wife. I said, man, I don't buy the house, fix it up, and they got that empty lot right there. I could put 2 trailers on it and rent that, and whatever. But then, yeah, Juan, that's what I want to be. I want to be a freaking landlord. Already but here's the deal. So the house, and here's something I'd have sworn I never would have done. So one of my cousins came over and we talked and we hadn't, in a while. And she said, I saw the guy the other day. So like the bank is foreclosed on it. I don't know which bank has it. But she said he went in through one of these windows. And I'm like, huh. And I went around and I just opened and the garage door was open. So I went in the house, bro. So, hey, sorry, whatever bank, has so I would have
So it was
sworn
unlocked?
Huh?
It was unlocked.
Unlocked, man.
Well, if he went in through the window, he probably leaving it unlocked so he could go in.
I swear I did not I would have sworn that I would never be in that house again, but and it held up, man. I mean, it's kind of funny the things that were not touched. It's been 5 years, I guess. A lot of stuff going on the last 5 years. But there's no power, right? But it was a sunny day so I could see stuff, but yeah, man, just weird.
Did
And
your mom
then,
go in?
huh?
Did your mom
No,
go in?
no, it's just it's the stuff in the way and
Yeah.
mobility issues. It's like it's
Yeah, I
not
knew
worth
that,
not
so.
worth that. So but then I may have told you this story. One of my favorite stories about my dad. God bless my dad. So he had a tendency. He would start projects and not always finish them. And just how he was, super talented guy, artist, and I always told him all these paintings. He'd start paintings, and he was very, very good. And he'd get halfway through or 3/4 through and just either lose interest or decide, no, I don't like what. And he'd stop. And I always told him, I said, dude, so help me. Whenever you're not here, I'm hanging the unfinished pictures. And they're my favorites, by the way. I have several. It's I love an unfinished picture because it's like it's still being worked on. It's almost like that painting is still alive. But one of my favorite dads, so he came back. We had a pretty big size yard, and from whatever nursery he got back from, bought something he obviously didn't need, but a tree. I forget what kind of tree it is, and in a bucket, right? The plant, and he put it in the backyard about 20 feet from the back of the house, next to something else. Never went back to it. Stayed in the bucket. I guess about a year, 2 years, 3 years later, that tree finally threw a couple roots out the bottom of that bucket, got into the ground. That tree started growing. That tree got to be about 20 feet high.
Is the bucket still around?
It was for the longest time. For the longest time, that bucket was kind of stuck into and eventually it got so big that the bucket wasn't there.
Right. It was just,
but my running joke was always that tree wants to live like that.
It's fighting for it.
So apparently after the storm or whatever, the new owner chopped that tree down. And I'm like, I always thought, man, because it had gotten so big and it was dropping a bunch of leaves and seeds onto the gutters. So it was clogging the gutters. So when I got there, I looked and I said, oh, look, the tree's starting to come back out the ground. And then I looked, and in the gutter, I'll be dang, they had some seedlings shooting up out of the
Prodding up.
gutter. Man, I went borrow that guy's ice chest. I got on an ice chest. I pulled out a seedling and I'm thinking to myself, that would be just like me to break my leg or break my standing on a ice chest.
Or pull the gutter down.
Hey, man, it's being foreclosed on. You know what I'm saying? So I got a big chunk of that. And my cousin Tanya was there, and she goes, "Oh, let me get you." And I had to go. I got muddy. I had to go wash off. I'm such a couillon. But I wrapped it up. When I got back to Thibodeau, I went get another planter, put a bunch of potting soil in it, got it. You
should have put it in a bucket.
No, I did. It's in a big
okay.
bucket now, and I named it Groot after Guardians of the Galaxy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's right now in Thibodeau until we know in the spring it's in a window in Thibodeau, and then
Nice.
like I said, that tree, that's continuing the story, man.
See the offspring of your father's unfinished vision.
You know what else I got? I got a piece of the marble slab that was my wife and I's first coffee table. Because we had a lot of money when we got married. We live in a house in Montague, and our coffee table was a slab of marble that my parents had in like Galliana. We had it on cinder blocks. So
nice.
I spray painted some cinder blocks, a nice, pretty cream color. So they were cream colored
Did they
cinder
used to
blocks.
be your bed risers?
Well, I guess. and that marble table was our coffee table. And then once we moved, it
Had to
went
be
back.
heavy, huh?
Yeah. And it was about a I don't know, a 3 or 4 foot wall long, about maybe 18 inches, 2 foot wide.
Coffee table size. Yeah.
But anyway, so my mom's a little bit like me. That stayed in cutoff when we sold the house. Like after when my wife and I left Louisiana, we weren't bringing that with us. It ended
Right,
up
so you
back.
brought it back.
That's a good piece of marble, bro. You're not gonna
Bro, you ain't throwing that away.
that didn't come with the house when we sold the house in Montague. That was coming with us, and I think it made it with us to our move to Houma. But anyway, so my mom asked me, "Well, David, is my marble slab still there?" But it was broken. It was, it was, but there was but I grabbed a corner of it. I got dude, why? I don't know. It's, I got to remember what I did with it. It's downstairs somewhere, but,
Yeah, but see, I'm like that. I'm sentimental with stuff, man. I tell you, my parents' house still was my bedroom, and my dad's house now is carved into the windowsill. It says Juan lived here.
don't lose that, man.
Yeah, who's Juan?
Oh, I got
Dude,
stuff
I don't
down.
know, but he lived here.
Yeah, I got stuff down. I got a rock downstairs. I want to say it's a rock. It's a big rock. And rocks are heavier than you think, yo. This one's probably, I don't know if it's 18 inches high, about 12 inches wide. It's a mini boulder.
Wow.
And it used to be near a fish pond that my grandpa had back whenever we left and they sold the house. Everybody's getting souvenirs, and I'm the only idiot. And I mean, I was younger. I couldn't lift it now. In my younger days, moronically, I don't know how I lifted this thing and got it into the trunk of a car.
Oh wow.
But yeah, but it's here. It's in
See, my dad wants me to go help him clean out the shed at his house, and that to me is going to be like a trip down memory lane. It's like going to take days for me to do that because probably half the stuff in there is mine.
Oh, I know it is. I was doing that in Thibodeau this time too. I mean, and this is years later, going through things, which is why you need somebody that's not really attached to anything to go through it and throw things away. Because
oh no, when we downsized, I was going through old boxes of stuff like college stuff. And I had to stop, and I said, "We're just gonna bring it because, first of all,
correct,
I'm not throwing it away without going through it. And if I sit here and go through it, I'm never gonna make any progress."
And I got to realize too,
flipping page by page in a
sure.
college notebook.
Dude, and I got to realize too, I find stuff that I forgot existed, and you feel sentimental when you see it because it brings back memories. But I also have to realize that, you know what, there's certain things that if it's truly important, I got to explain it to other people about why this is important, why they may want to keep it, or like family stuff. I got stuff that came from family, like that gun in the corner from my grandpa.
Yeah.
Various things where, I got a cast net in here that was made by those who know what if you know what a cast net is, you know what it is. If you don't, you don't. That was made by my great grandmother. She apparently was like one of the first people in Lafourche Parish that made nets. That's what she did. She made fishing nets and cast nets out of not cotton, but like
twine.
like oil-based nylon
Nylon.
kind of nets, which is pretty unique. Means something to me. It means absolutely zip.
Mhm.
Like if I died after this podcast, my wife would have no idea because me and my dad were the only two humans I think that even knew what that was. They'd be like, "Why they kept that junk?" I'd be like, "Well, here's why." Well, it's almost time to get on out of here, man.
That's right.
I jotted some stuff down just real quick here. I'm already tired of Lane Kiffin.
But this is the whole thing with that. It's not like he's the first guy to ever do this. It's not like, but now Ole Miss wants to file a grievance against LSU because their coaches are tampering with their players.
Probably.
Well, but they're coaching them.
Yeah.
So get them out of there.
But that's not why I'm tired of Lane Kiffin. He came out to the court with Kim Mulkey holding hands and
Yeah.
doing this stuff. Hey, stop it. Stop it, Lane. Stop it. Okay. And I'm sure they'll do. But, bro, let's be honest. And I got into a little text back and forth giving grief to a couple of LSU buddies about, look at Ole Miss putting it on
Dude, I was
Georgia.
pulling hard for Ole Miss. That was a heck of a game.
What and how do you, I'm sorry, hey, Lane. So part of it's like, yeah, now you can look and say that's the team you built, but what the heck? So you
Yeah,
had
gotta
to
finish,
leave Ole
man. You gotta
Miss.
finish. That coach is from Hammond.
Okay.
He went to. I didn't realize that he went to Southeastern.
Ole Miss ending up in who they play. They got Oregon coming up.
No, they got Miami. They got the best role. Miami's like number
Wow.
12.
They could beat Miami's pretty, and Michael Irvin can go jumping. I'm so tired of Michael Irvin.
Dude,
too.
that guy.
If he's not
is-
coked up, I don't know. Like he's been a
Did you
problem
see-
forever.
So after the Ohio game, he took like an Ohio sweatshirt, pulled it over a water cooler, pulled his belt off, and
Yes.
beat it.
He's an embarrassment. I'm sorry, Miami. I don't want to hear anything. That's embarrassing.
He was more obnoxious than convicted whatever forgiven murderer involver
Ray
or
Lewis.
Ray Lewis, who was just sitting on the stand on the sidelines, kind of dignified.
Yeah. Well, Ray Lewis has actually kind of turned himself around. He's very religious and he's done some good stuff. And yeah, I got, Ray Lewis is Ray Lewis, but Michael Irvin is just embarrassing.
No, it was it's annoying.
Okay. What's the other?
Now that game was, the stage crew was, about to kill somebody when they had to keep pulling the trophy stage on and off the field at the end of the game. Nope, we still got a second left. Nope, still got that second left.
Also, I was reminded this year of just how absolutely awful all the New Year's Eve programs are. I mean, seriously, they are just, if this is what passes for entertainment in America today.
The fact that on CNN they're taking shots of tequila and stuff.
Oh, I can't. I won't even put it. I won't even.
No, I only see the clips.
I want to say I saw. We just around midnight. We're at the in-laws. I forget what.
Around midnight, I was sound asleep.
Well, we had done all the fireworks and stuff. But we were back in home, showered. watching. And so my wife said, "You know what? You don't want to stay up and see it." No. Rick Springfield
apparently did it in 82 or 83.
Yo,
and did it again. I didn't see it.
You think he ever regrets writing Jesse's Girl?
Dude.
I mean, honestly, it's a blessing and a curse, right? Like, okay, trying to still be relevant in his 70s and he looks good. I don't know what kind of deal with the devil.
Now, this is the thing. You can flip that because on the same show, Goo Goo Dolls.
Iris.
They played Iris. But, dude, Iris is a good song. Iris is a song that holds up. Jesse's Girl is, it's a
little tiring. Yeah. Now, here's the deal about Iris, though, which is interesting. And I forget what it was in. So, on the year-end Spotify thing that comes up, and it's hard to describe how this is, of all the songs released in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, so you got 3 decades of a lot of songs that were released. Iris was the most played, downloaded song.
Like 2 billion streams.
Okay. So that's it's still a relevant song. Jesse's Girl, I mean, again, it's an iconic song, but I'm sitting there thinking, you got to be thinking, like, what deal with the devil you made that, okay, you're going to look good and you can still take your shirt off in your 70s and you still got the sex symbol thing going. But, bro, you're going to be singing this freaking song for the rest of time. You're like, and these people, these young people and girls in the audience pretending.
What roses at him?
Oh, man. Whatever. But so that was that. And I think, was that all of it? Last thing this week. So I had opportunity, and it was great. Fantastic opportunity to get to go to the Rockets played here in.
Yeah, how was that?
Okay, it was good. It's good. So I'm in a suite. So I get my son and I.
What'd you wear?
I ended up. What did I wear?
If you didn't watch last week's episode, we had a conversation about that. I'm not
didn't
that
know what to
interested in
wear.
what Dave wore.
The appropriate thing would have probably been if I had owned like a Rockets pullover or something. Would have probably been the appropriate thing. But I wore a button down. I brought a blazer just in case, but just left it in there, so it was all good. So and then my son wore a button down, so all good. So I think we were properly clad for the suite for the Rockets game. I've never been to a suite in the Toyota Center. We get there early. Parking, because it comes to the pass, fantastic. I mean, you're parking on the red Tundra. You just walk right in. It's the suites only. We get there early, bro. Gates open at 5:30. We were there at 5:35. We are the first people into the suite. All right. So the game don't start till 7, but that's kind of cool because they're warming up, and my son wanted to see that. Yeah. And they got the food out. They got the beer.
That was my question. Was the food
food's out, beer's out. I know most people, as a guest and being the first person in, was going to say, I'm going to wait.
Wait for the host, or at least be second.
I told my son, relax. And then the lady came. Whoever our suite attendant was, she said, "Are you the host?" I'm like, "I'll be whatever you need me to be. I am not the host, but I will be." And she explained everything.
You need me to sign that invoice?
So me and my son are there, and a good friend of mine had lined it up, and she said she was coming a little bit later, but she told me some other people from the bank that was going to be there because she was courtside. Her and her son will get. I mean, dang. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Don't get me wrong. I sound like I'm not complaining. Sitting on the first row of a suite is pretty nice, but courtside is like life-changing. But so we're sitting there, my son and I. My hand to God, this is true. So we're sitting there. We're the only people in the suite. Each have a beer, talking about stuff, watching, basketball. And it's one of the few things he likes so much that, like, he's actually engaged, talking. You know what I mean? Like, all right. So we're just having a good time. And I feel something on my hand. And I look down, and I got a little roach crawling across my hand. Wasn't a big black roach. It was sort of like kind of brownish. I don't know what the exact species it was. And I looked, and I just lifted my hand, and it just kind of stood on my hand. I was like, huh. And I said, this is perfect. This is absolutely God's way of saying, bro, don't
get over yourself.
Don't be feeling yourself. You're sitting here like a show.
My thing would be, what do? Do you tell everybody else, brother, there's a roach in here?
I didn't tell anybody. I told my son. I put it. I didn't even kill it, Juan. I just kind of blew it down, and later on, my son saw it. Like, had two of them. Now, granted, dude, you're in a stadium. It happens. And by the way,
right.
There got to be food everywhere.
Right. Yeah. You drop popcorn if you're watching ball game. You tell me you picking it up.
I told nobody else, and that's obviously, but I was just like, man, that's just that's me, bro. I'm big balling it, drinking some free beer in a fancy suite, and I got a roach that crawls over me.
Fretting over what to wear.
There you go. Keeps you humble, boy. Keep you humble. All right, America. First one of the year is done. We're going to push the button. Get on out of here. See if any of this stuff stuck to the magic tape up in the sky. Hey, nothing changed on the fact that you can always reach us at Dave and Juan at protonmail.com. And
unless you're in Venezuela, you should be able to still watch it wherever you're watching it.
That's right, man. That's right. And every week we tell you it's not a hint, suggestion, subtle implication. Y'all, it is the freaking
mandate, man.
Get out there and live your best life.
Should be easy, man. It's still, we're not even through the first week of the year. If you had a New Year's resolution, you probably hadn't even dumped on it yet.
No, that's what I'm saying. Nobody raided your house in the middle of the night and put you on a ship to bring
with a blindfold.
But and you know what? That guy's going to have a good day today too.
Probably having a better day today than he had yesterday.
That's right. That's right. And he will be released and within the Mamdani cabinet probably before the year's out. So it's always there's always a better day coming, y'all. Hang in there for it and do your best of it. We are going to do the same. We're going to get out there, live life for a week, get together next week and compare notes, and hopefully it'll be a fun time. So everybody be careful. Enjoy your first week of the year. Like I said, be careful out there. And we'll see you soon. Love you, bro.
All right, mate. So next week, I may, make an appearance at the event that we should be credited with starting, the 3rd annual now Weenie Spaghetti Festival in Houma.
I have been made aware by somebody with text, and I'm like, I can't get down next weekend, but
well, we are a sponsor of the event in some way, shape, or form.
You being your credit union.
The credit union. Yeah, that's not why I would go down there. It's just
not the Dave and Juan podcast, although we should be credited.
Well,
honest to goodness,
whenever they have, now that I have a contact within the thing, if they ever have a parade, we're the first grand marshals.
Dude, we can go back and we can pull files.
No, episode 1.
Was it episode 1? I mean,
yes,
we extensively for weeks on end talked about the value
Weenie spaghetti.
I'm craving a weenie spaghetti right now.
Right, that's back 2021.
Yeah. So, but glad it's become such a big deal, and hopefully the weather will be lovely for them.
Yeah, I'm planning to make an appearance.
You didn't say you're planning on eating any.
No, I'm not. Can't imagine I would do that, but we'll see.
Love me a weenie spaghetti.
Talking about New Year's Eve, did you see Scott Van Pelt?
Did not.
So I guess ESPN, after whatever game was on New Year's Eve, was it the Sugar Bowl? Yeah, when they cut to him at Sports Center, they've got on the monitor on the side of him, they're showing, I guess it's midnight, or midnight somewhere, and all the people, kissing. And he said, "Oh, look, people kissing on Sports Center." Then the next shot, 2 dudes. And he goes, "Oh, what are we doing?" And then he recovers and he goes, "Love is in the air all over the place."
Well, good for you, Scott.
Yeah, hanging in there, man.
What are we doing? You know what you're doing? It's ESPN, owned by Disney.
That's what they said. Scott Van Pelt was mere seconds away from career suicide, and he reeled it back in.
Yeah, man. Don't mess with Disney.
It's over. Go home.